Hi friends, in this episode, I'll show you how to make a dual-purpose semi-drip watering system for growing tomatoes. The system has a second function that makes it ideal for growing tomatoes, which you will see later. I provide some tips at the end to enable you to reap maximum benefits, so stick with me as I take you through the process. Tomato plants prefer deep watering in order to grow well and produce abundant, juicy fruits. This can be achieved with a drip irrigation system, which is often too expensive to set up for the home gardener. I made a cheap semi-drip irrigation alternative which delivers water to the deep roots of tomato easily. I started with 2-inch diameter PVC pipes which I cut into desirable lengths. The length is determined by how tall your tomato plants can grow. Once I had the required number, I proceeded to make several slits around the perimeter of the pipes. These were arranged in an alternate manner so that the integrity and strength of the pipe was maintained. The length of the slits from the lower end should be about the height of the container for growing the tomatoes. Once the slits were created, I cut a net into smaller pieces and tied one piece to the end of the pipe near the slits using zip ties. If your zip ties cannot go around the pipe, you can join two together like I did. Now the system was almost ready to be installed. I filled the pipe with about 2-inch layer of sand to slow down the flow of the water through the net. Before installing, I tested it to see if it would work as planned. I poured the water through the hole at the top and observed its flow downward. It was perfect. The water that goes through the sand and net supply the deepest roots, whereas the water that goes through the slits supply various layers of tomato roots throughout the soil. It was time to install it. This should be quite easy if you follow my steps. I just placed the end of the pipe that has the net in the middle of the container filled with soil and pushed it down till most of the slits were buried. It was easy for me to push it because I had filled the bags with soil, watered it and left it to drain overnight. Once it had been installed, I planted some tomatoes to see how the semi-drip system will affect its growth. If you want to know how I created the seedling tray, check out the video when it pops out on the screen or follow the link in the video description. I even planted 2 tomatoes in one of the bags to compare the growth. The tops of the pipe was covered with plastic water bottle to prevent lizards and insects from colonizing that space. I must admit that this semi-drip system is most useful when the plants have grown bigger and their water requirements have increased appreciably. Therefore, I waited for about 15 days before putting the system to full use. The first use case is as a semi-drip irrigation or fertigation system. How it works is that you pour water through the top of the pipe and the water percolates through the slits and nets into the root zone of the tomato plant. The water can be applied from a bottle or directly with a water hose. As indicated earlier, this is a dual-purpose system. The second use case is using it as a trellis or stake for the tomato plant. You can just fasten a rope or thread to the plant and tie it to the pipe. This means that there is no need for additional stakes. If you are enjoying this video, smash the like button to show your approval and share the video so that more people will benefit from it. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe for more of our content. Press the notification button to ensure you get notified of our next video. Now, let's see how the system fared over the lifetime of the tomato plants. I checked and watered the plant as and when necessary. I also cared for the tomato by providing additional nutrients and pruning as and when necessary. 10 days later, the tomato plants were looking really lovely. Even the plants in the bag that had 2 plants were doing amazingly well. This meant that the semi-drip system was working effectively. By day 35, more flowers had formed and fruit had started developing. Things were still looking good. On day 39, I added more soil to cover some of the exposed roots. I also added a layer of charcoal mulch to conserve moisture and reduce the frequency of watering. I then tested the system again, and it was still in perfect order. By day 60, I was finally able to get some juicy tomato fruit for my labor. As you have seen, this system works great and can be used over and over again. One thing is for sure, your tomatoes will love you for this and reward you with a bountiful harvest. Here are some tips to guarantee a good harvest. 1. A 2-inch diameter pipe is ideal, but you can use a 1.5-inch diameter as well. 2. Provide supplemental nutrition or fertilizer in a timely manner. This can be every 15 to 20 days depending on the fertilizer. 3. Remember to manage pests and diseases so that you can reap maximum benefit from this system. 4. Apply a layer of mulch over the soil surface when the fruit starts forming to help conserve moisture and reduce the frequency of watering. This will also aid in uniform fruit development and reduce cracking of fruit. You can give it a try and let me know what you think. You can also smash the like button or leave us a comment. I'll also be happy to answer any questions you have. See you in our next video. Until then, it's adios.